welcome back to the show. And I am so delighted today to bring you someone amazing for your health, and that is Ronda Collier. She is the CEO and founder of SweetWater Health, she's the creator of several self-help apps that allow you to measure your stress and overall health. She has more than 25 years in the high-tech product development and with a proven track record of delivering leading-edge products in both private held startups as well as Fortune 500 companies. Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you, Jill, for having me. Pleased to be here.
Oh, I'm delighted you're here. And, I know I'm actually looking at the statistic that you provided, over $90 billion spent in supplements, weight loss, and health and stress reduction, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing to me. And, I know it's been your mission to provide an easier way to do that, which is why now you're doing the apps piece. And I'm just curious, what do your apps measure?
Well, we measure we measure two things. One measures your food sensitivities. So there's a renowned immunologist from the 30s named Dr. Arthur Koka, and he was the founder of the Journal of Immunology. And his wife had angina, and she too was a scientist. So they discovered, just through practicing medicine, which is what they did in the 30s, really, her heart rate increased when she ate certain foods. And so there's actual medical reasons for that, which we won't go into here, but it's absolutely valid. When you are sensitive but not overtly allergic, your heart rate increases. And so what they discovered was when she stopped eating these foods that she was sensitive to, her angina cleared up.
Wow.
Her arthritis cleared up. Her blood pressure stabilized. So he took this to his patients because he was an immunologist. He did a lot of allergy. And so just started doing trial and error with his patients and came up with what's called the Koka Pulse Test. He solved hundreds and hundreds of people, anywhere from, like I said, type 2 diabetes, blood pressure. A lot of joint pain and arthritis was healed when people removed these otherwise healthy foods from their diets because it was causing a reaction in the body. And so we have apps called Food Effect. We have one that's standalone on the Apple Watch. It's the world's easiest way to do this. And we also have a little more sophisticated one on the iPhone. And so what you do is basically get a baseline pulse first thing in the morning, and then you measure your pulse after you've eaten. And if you've eaten something you're sensitive to, your pulse will increase.
Well, and I love that.
Yeah,
I love that because, it enables you to quickly assess. Listen, I'm looking at things that inflame us, and I think most of us can point to certain foods that inflame us, but I think it's so important that we know that individually, and your app provides a really simple way to do that, doesn't it?
It does. And it turns out what we call the suspicious 7, but there's 7 foods that are responsible for 90% of food sensitivities.
Okay, and that includes, ask you to name them. How about name the top 3? Name the top 3.
Oh, peanuts, gluten, and dairy are the top 3. Yeah. And the thing is, you might not know you're having a reaction, but you are. And then when your joints start flaring up, or your knees hurt, or your hips, or you may have brain fog or sleeplessness, it just shows up in all these different ways.
Yes.
And so by testing these foods, it's so simple. You can find out if you're eating things that are actually healthy, but they're not good for your body.
Yeah, I love that, because I think a lot of us grow up thinking, oh, certain things are okay. And now we're finding, and I know this for me, and I'm talking personally, that I'm really seeing what these things are actually doing to me, and now eliminating gluten. And dairy's hard because I love my brie cheese, but I'm working on it.
I know. In moderation, maybe.
Yes, definitely in moderation. Certainly not every day, but But I think that's an interesting thing about, as we're eliminating, finding new things. And I think as you become aware, each of us, about our own sensitivities, which your apps really help us to do, then we can make better choices and feel better, right, Rhonda?
We can. And like you mentioned, $90 billion a year is spent in the US alone on health-related supplements, blah, blah, blah. And yet people are sicker than ever. And so something's not working. So I just want to really point out, one size doesn't fit all. So just because a supplement or a certain diet worked for your friend doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And so if you start a new supplement with the hopes of improving your health, it's a really good idea to measure what it's actually doing to you and seeing if it's going to be beneficial or if it's going to set your body up to invite disease in.
Oh, I think that's so important too, that we cannot compare, the latest fad or what our friends are doing to what we're sensitive to. And Rhonda, I just love your dedication to providing a way through your apps for people to do this easily and make it simple. And I'm curious, how do your apps improve my health? I mean, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but be specific about that. How will it improve my health?
Well, the food sensitivity, I think, speaks for itself now that I described that. Then we
Mhm.
have other apps that measure what's called heart rate variability. And so it measures the pattern of your heartbeat. And long story short, that's a view into your autonomic nervous system. So we can see lots of things. We can see your fight or flight response, which is your stress response. And we can see your rest and digest response, which is what's happening when should be happening when you are relaxing in the evening. And
That.
so we also can see actually the electrical signaling from that.
Yeah.
And it's like having a 20-watt receiver. When you crank the music up, it gets all staticky because it's distorted, or you have a 300-watt receiver
Yeah.
where you crank it up and everything's crystal clear. And so what we can measure is what are you doing in your life that
Mm.
has your nervous system as its most resilient, most powerful, and most balanced. Because when you're in a chronic fight or flight or stress response, it shuts the prefrontal cortex off. It shuts down your digestion.
Mm.
Okay. It
Yeah.
puts all of your resources into fighting or fleeing. And so you can't think straight and your digestion gets all messed up when you're in stress. Now, the issue here is that your brain is a giant filter and it filters out anything familiar, even if it's dysfunctional. And so you won't even know that you're stressed. And so, in order to improve your health, you have to see what's actually going on with yourself first. So the first is knowledge about what is your nervous system doing. Then you can start learning what you're putting into your body or what thoughts, behaviors, and environments are causing stress.
Yeah.
So we call it generative feedback. So if you can change one behavior, and let me give you a great example because everyone does this. There's one exit on the highway on your way to work that always backs up. And every day you unknowingly tense up and stress when it starts backing up. Well, once you become aware of that, that one change in your behavior decreases your stress immensely because you're doing it every day. So once you change one behavior, then your stress levels change dramatically.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for this. It's really, really helpful. And I think that's like you point out so correctly, as we become aware, then we can do better, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And your apps make this easy in our busy lives.
Totally easy.
Yes, I love that. And I
Yeah.
know people are going to want to get a hold of you and learn more. How can they get a wonderful connection with you or some free gift? Please do
Oh,
share.
the best thing to do is to go to www.sweetwaterhrv.com. Go to the About page and you'll find my email there. You can email me with any questions. Also, when you go to the home page there, we have a little yellow button that says sign up to win a Polar H10 heart rate monitor for free because we're obviously for the measuring your stereo and your power, we need to measure your heart rate. And so you will need a heart rate monitor. So we're having a giveaway every month through the end of the year for that.
Wow.
All you have to do is go put your email in and we'll email you if you're the winner.
Ooh, how
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
that's wonderful offers. And Rhonda, thank you again for coming today. You're just amazing. And I know your dedication to making people's lives much better. So we
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Jill, so much for having me.
You're so welcome. And thank you, everybody, for stopping by for our wonderful quick fix for you today on health and wonderful ways to make your life better. Hey, go check out jilllublin.com and let me see how I can support you to get your message out to the world. And go on there and check out my free gift for your publicity action guide. In the meanwhile, you have a wonderful rest of your week, rest of your day, and looking forward to seeing you at our next Jill Lublin show. Bye, everyone.
Bye.